Hello everyone. Today I'm taking a new topic, that is the piping material. I will explain on the piping materials, which are the piping materials used for high temperature service and general application service, which are various types of piping materials which are used in the industries. And these piping materials mainly selected on the basis of their applications. These piping materials are of many types. The specific material to suit a design requirement is chosen on the basis of certain key factors. These factors are that these piping materials are generally selected on the basis of that requirement where that material is used, and what are the factors that material should possess, or what are the properties that material should possess, that you have to see. And also you have to see that reliability, availability also. These factors for the selection of the piping materials are listed here. These are mainly mechanical properties, tensile, yield, creep rupture, fatigue, and impact tests. Impact properties required for that particular piping material, performance requirements and material reliability, safety, then environmental conditions, availability, then resistance to erosion and corrosion. Erosion is the physical change in the material, and corrosion is the chemical change in that material. Then economic factor also considered. That means while selecting the piping material, you have to consider these factors. On that basis, you have to select the material, because if you have selected the material which is having the good quality and good properties, everything is there, but it is not available in that particular place, or that is economical, very costlier, then you are not able to use that material for this design purpose, for this project purpose, or any this application purpose. You have to see these factors, all factors, and that material should comply for this all factors. On that basis only you will on that part only you can select the material. Also you have to see that all the means properties required as per standards are meeting or not. That also you have to see. uh, if that material property is matching, but that material is costly, then you have to look for the other material which satisfy the same requirement, and which should be available, and which has a less cost, that you have to check in the market, and accordingly you have to select the piping material. Other vital characteristics required for the piping material selections are toughness, creep strength, ductility, good surface finish, hardness, corrosion resistance, and weldability. These are the characteristics should be present in the material uh, uh, for the selection purpose. Accordingly, you have to select the material. We'll see how the piping materials are classified. This mainly the piping material is classified as a metallic, non-metallic, and lined material. Liner piping material. In metallic, there are subparts, that is a ferrous piping material, non-ferrous piping material. In ferrous, there are cast irons, carbon steel, alloy steel, stainless steel, and other special alloy steels. In non-ferrous piping material, copper and its alloys, aluminum and its alloys, nickel and its alloys, lead and its alloys. These are the non-ferrous piping materials. In non-metallic piping materials, you will find there are PVC pipes, HDPE pipes, pipe materials, PTFE pipe material, low density pipe, LDPE, we call it as glass, ceramic. These are the non-metallic piping materials. Lined piping materials are EMS rubber line, means uh, EMS is the main pipe. Inside that the rubber lining is done, or inside that PTFE lining, lead lining, or ceramic lining is there. Also, there are other lines, there are FRP lining, PP line. These are the uh, line piping materials. In non-metallic, you can consider FRP pipes also. These are FRP fiber reinforced FRP pipes also. Then the commonly used piping materials in general applications, or in steam applications, in boiler applications, or in process industries are low carbon steel, low alloy steel, and the stainless steels. These are used for the high temperature services. Then wrought iron, cast iron, ductile iron, copper, brass, aluminum and its alloys, and nickel steel. Then other plastic materials are, as I explained, that is PVC, polyethylene, polypropylene, asbestos, cement, GR pipes, concrete, glass, rubber, and some newer plastics are there. These are the commonly used piping materials. While selecting the piping material for particular application, you have to see the temperature limitations of that piping material. So here in this slide, you can see that for carbon steel of grade A106 grade B, the material temperature limit given as a 427, and for API 5L grade B 230 they have given. And if beyond that temperature, the we will find that the yield strength will be decreased. So according to the temperature limitations given, you have to select the material, because for particular application, if you you will from the process data you will see find that this material is used for certain temperature. So accordingly, you have to see select the piping material, and these limitations of the temperature for particular material grades are given in this chart slide. So accordingly, for alloy steels, for A335 grade P11, the temperature limit is 570 degrees Celsius. Like that, stainless steel also given the temperature limit. Uh, for aluminum, it is given as 175 for this for aluminum piping material. Beyond that, you will find that they will lose the strength. Also, for thermoplastic, the limitation is given as 260 degree. Beyond that, the this material will melt. Like that, thermosettings, plastics, and concrete, the temperature limitation is given. Beyond that, some uh, change in the material you will see. Change in the material properties. If you use that material beyond that temperature, then you will find that there will be change in the properties of the material, or it will lose the strength of the material. Here in this slide, we will see the material properties. So for material of carbon steel, so you will here the yield strength is given as 260 to 1300 MPa, and this UTS is 500 to 880. So you have, as per the this strengths given, this you have to select the material, piping material. If you want the material means if you want the tensile strength more, or if you want the tensile strength lower, accordingly you have to, by referring the material properties, you have to select the material of that to piping this pipe for the piping purpose, piping material use. So for alloy steels also, there here the strength is given. That yes, then for the this one polyethylene pipes, other materials, non-metallic material, the strength is given, because generally for this polypropylene or polyethylene, the tensile strength is very low. So this is for certain, means according to the application of the where the piping is used, piping material is used, according to you have to select the material. Then we'll see the about the alloy steels. Means alloy steels, generally this alloy steel is manufactured for the improve the material properties. We'll see adding up alloying element to improve the characteristics of the material is termed as a alloy steel. Commonly we use the alloy element as the silicon, chromium, nickel, molybdenum, manganese, vanadium, titanium, boron, aluminum, cobalt, and tungsten. We'll see what are the effects of the alloying. Purpose of the alloying will be to improve the corrosion resistance, then to have the better hardenability, improve the machinability, high or low temperature stability, ductility, toughness. That is the then better wear resistance. By adding the alloys in the material, you will improve the properties of the materials. For addition of certain elements like aluminum, chlorine, in this slide we will see the influence. The influence will be on that material? What are the advantages if we add the aluminum? What are the disadvantages if we add the aluminum or chromium or manganese in that material? This I have mentioned here. If we'll see the aluminum. If we add 2 to 5%, then the advantages will be it will be resistance to the heat and oxidation, improve the scale resistance, impart the strength. Then disadvantages will be increases brittleness. That will be the disadvantages if you add aluminum. If you add chromium, you will know that it will increase the wear resistance carbides, formation of the carbides. Then corrosion resistance will be increased, hardness and strength will be increased. If above 5% corrosion resistance is improved even at high temperature also. Disadvantages will be it reduces machinability and weldability. Then if we add manganese, you will find that it will increase tensile strength and machinability. If you add molybdenum in percentage of 0.15 to 0.6%, then it will improve hardenability, high temperature strength and impact resistance, corrosion resistance, especially to chloride solution. Then machinability, that will be improved. Then nickel up to 5%, that if we add in the element, it will see that decrease the decomposition of the austenite, increase resistance to the oxidation at high temperature, decreases critical temperature. And the disadvantages will be it lower the machinability. Then titanium, if we add, it prevents precipitation of chromium carbides, imparts strength. Then tungsten, if I add, then vanadium, if I add, that are the given advantages in that. Then low alloy steels, we will see the material composition for the low alloy steels. The ferritic alloy steel pipe for high temperature service. Pipe fittings by steel fitting by fitting pipe fitting steel for moderate and elevated temperature. Alloy steel castings for pressure containing parts suitable for high temperature services. Here the chemical compositions are given for this alloy steels and for which services it will be applied. For high pressure, superheated and hot react steam, this low alloy steels are used. Ferritic alloy steel pipe for high temperature services are used. For walls for alloy steels, these alloy steel castings are used. And the chemical for composition given is that the carbon percentage, manganese, silicon percentage, chromium, this percentage they have mentioned for this particular service and the application. Stainless steel will discuss that all of you know that adding 11.5% or greater chromium in iron, which changes the microstructure, and based on that its varieties are obtained. This possesses greater percentage of chromium, which forms a chromium oxide film exposed to the air that prevents chemical attack of moist air on the material surface. That means if we add the chromium in the this carbon steel, that chromium will make a film on that material, so that that material will not be in contact with the environment or hydrogen from the environment, and uh, that that then that's why the corrosion resistance will be more when we add the chromium in the material. This nickel, if we add the nickel, retains the austenitic structure of the steel. Stainless steel mainly contains the chromium, nickel, and moly. Greater resistance to the corrosion than all type of steels. These stainless steels are mainly classified into three categories, as you know: austenitic stainless steel, ferritic stainless steel, and martensitic stainless steel. Stainless steel material compositions and services are in this table. You can see this 304316. These welded and seamless austenitic steels. This chemical composition here mentioned, that is chromium is in between 18 to 20% for 304, and nickel is 8 to 11% for 304, and for 316 you will find that molybdenum 2% maximum, and nickel is 11 to 14%, 16 to 18% for the 316 material. And this material is mainly this used for the hydrocarbon and chemical applications, and where the corrosion is more, this material is used. Like that, this material grades A403, and this wrought austenitic stainless steel pipe fittings are there, which are the forged fittings. The chemical composition is given. Then casting of the stainless steel material grades are mentioned there. Chemical composition is like that. This walls castings are there. If you see A182 grade F304, that means it is the castings, and CF8 A3, that is the casting material for the walls and pumps also, pump casings also. These are the casting materials. Then we'll see for maximum service temperatures, uh, how these stainless steels affects, or which grade of the stainless steels are used, and for what intermediate service temperature and continuous service temperatures we can use this stainless steel material. First we will see this ferritic stainless steel. These are used for the SA240 type 430 grade, and the intermediate service temperature will be 870, and continuous service will be we can use up to 815 degrees Celsius. This ferritic stainless steel we can use up to the 815 degrees Celsius continuous service. Continuous service, for the continuous service, and the material grade will be of type 430. SA for 242. This is the SME designation. These ferritic grades have been developed to provide a group of stainless steel to resist corrosion and oxidation while being highly resistant to stress corrosion cracking. These steels are magnetic but cannot be hardened or strengthened by heat treatment. They can be cold worked and softened by annealing. As a group, they are more corrosive resistant than the martensitic grades, but generally inferior to the austenitic grades like martensitic grades. These are straight chromium steels with no nickel. They are used for decorative trim, sinks, and automotive applications, particularly exhaust systems. So you will find that these types of grade are generally used for the automobile applications where there is no nickel. Then martensitic stainless steel. These are of STM designation 240 and type 410. And for continuous service of 705 degrees Celsius, we can use it. And as like in previous slide I have mentioned, For intermediate service up to 815 degrees Celsius, we can use this martensitic stainless steel. These martensitic grades are developed in order to provide a group of stainless steel alloys that will be corrosion resistant and hardenable by heat treating. The martensitic grades are straight chromium steels containing no nickel. They are magnetic and can be hardened by heat treating. The martensitic grades are mainly used where hardness, strength, and wear resistance are required. This martensitic stainless steel generally used for where the hardness requirement is more and strength and wear resistance are required. We can use this steel. This is mostly used austenitic stainless steels and the grades are SA 240, 304, 321 and the intermediate service temperature will be 870 degree and for continuous of 925 degrees Celsius we can use these materials. These austenitic grades are those alloys which are commonly used for stainless applications. The austenitic grades are not magnetic. If we want to check this material, or the portable magnet, if we touch that material, then you will find that this material is a stainless steel. The austenitic grades are not magnetic. The most common austenitic alloys are iron, chromium, nickel, steels, and are widely known as the 300 series, like 304, 316. These are the austenitic stainless steel where we can use for the process and oil and gas industries. The austenitic stainless steel, because of their high chromium nickel content, are most corrosion resistance of the stainless group, providing unusually fine mechanical properties. They cannot be hardened by heat treatment, but can be hardened significantly by cold working. Then we'll in next slide we will see the special metals. Which are the special metals we are using? These high performance alloys for resistance to aqueous corrosions. This wrought nickel products, the Inconel, Ni chromium, nickel chromium ferrous and nickel chromium moly alloys. Then Incolloy, that is a ferrous nickel chromium alloys. Then Monel, nickel copper alloys. These are the nomenclatures given. Generally, we say that is Inconel, Incolloy, Monel. These are the general terms mainly used, and the combination of the material in that is the nickel chromium ferrous, nickel chromium moly. In Inconel, in Incolloy, we will see the ferrous nickel chromium alloys. In Monel, you will see nickel chromium alloys. If the terms is the Monel material, then that should be that is nickel and chromium alloy. These special metals are used mainly for the materials which are coming in contact with the aqueous seawater or in any oil and gas or special fluids. They are if they are coming that contact. The special materials nickel is based alloys are used for a broad range of industries including chemical and petrochemical processing, pollution control, oil and gas extraction, marine engineering, power generation, pulp and paper industries. The alloys' versatility and reliability make them the prime material of choice for construction of process vessels, piping systems, pumps, valves, and many other applications designed for service in aqueous and high temperature environment. This nickel and its alloying elements for solution to the corrosion. Mainly for the high temperature service and the solution to the corrosion, these nickel alloys are used, and the nomenclature is given as a nickel 200 and 201. For Monel, as we see nickel and chromium alloy, that is called as alloy 400 in colloy. This is the according to the percentage and the material means their percentage and the combination of the material, the types are given. That is, main types are Monel, Incolloy, Inconel. These are the main types of the materials of the nickel material. Then next we will see, according to the working fluid, which are the suitable alloying material we can use. Here in this table, this guide we can use means here I marked as a good to excellent, means the star, full star is given, uh, that is the, and one star is given for the acceptable and dash is for not not suitable material. So if the working fluid is the sulfuric acid, then nickel 200 uh, is means acceptable material, and for this hydrofluoric acid, the excellent material for this nickel 200 is the excellent material. For the organic acid, alkalines and salt, for the C material also, this is acceptable material. For nitric acid, this nickel 200 is not acceptable. For nitric acid, you have to use as Inconel alloy 622. This in Inconel alloy 620 is we can use for all acids applications of seawater or alkaline and salt organic acid. We can use this material in Inconel alloy 622, 625 and 625 LCF we can use for all acid applications. Like this, in this table, I have mentioned the guideline is given for certain working fluids. Thank you. Thank you for referring this slide. Thank you. The comments are welcome. We will resolve these comments and in depth.